So I wanted to share what happened at my last neurologist appointment. For those of you who are new here, I had to meet with a new neurologist because my doctor was out of the office and I was a little anxious. I'm sort of at a crossroads, a limbo if you will, with my treatment. I don't know if I don't know what next month is going to bring. It was weird seeing someone new, but I will say that I liked him a lot. He was very patient with me. I brought in my note card of problems, issues that I wanted to talk about, and he talked about everything with me, and I appreciated that. When it comes to my treatment, I can go every other month with Tysabri. I reach out to Biogen and ask them to extend my free drug program. Apparently going every other month is supposed to reduce your risk of PML without compromising protection, the coverage that you get from Tysabri. Because again, if you're new around here, my JCV antibodies, I'm positive, they are high. They are 3.52 and the most recent one was like 3.1. So I'm over 3, and that makes me a little anxious because PML isn't something that, it's very real these days. And then there is Tecfidera, which apparently the insurance is still paying for Tecfidera for their JCV positive patients because the risk is lower for PML. The doctor said that there are fewer cases of PML on Tecfidera than there are Tysabri. So they're still paying for it, and I wouldn't have to jump through that hoop. I can't even sit here and lie and say that Tecfidera isn't attractive. I mean, I don't have to find a sitter. I don't have to spend 2.5 hours of my day in that chair getting the medicine. I don't have to deal with the insurance not wanting to pay for it. And that is very appealing to me. That and the risk of PML seems to be getting a little too close for comfort these days. I mean, over 3, I never thought I would be over 3, and here I am, 3 plus. And I have 2 kids now. Don't get me wrong, I will never ever stop singing the praises of Tysabri. Tysabri gave me back the quality of life I expected. I expected to be somewhat normal, to live a normal life with, just headaches and aches and pains and things like that. And so Tysabri, oh, yes, I would recommend it to anyone. On the other hand, even though Tecfidera is very attractive to me, I don't want to go on a drug not knowing how it's going to work for me. That terrifies me. I don't want to feel any worse than I already do. Like, these are just thoughts that go through my mind, and that makes me anxious. It doesn't give me the warm and fuzzies. It doesn't make me feel secure. Tysabri has been such a good drug for me. It is a security blanket, and I've just been writing out the risk until now. We also talked about medications to help with my fatigue and my pain, and I wasn't very fair when it came to these things because I just kind of shut him down. He said Cymbalta, and I said no, I don't want to be on that. And when I got home and I realized, I need to be a little more open-minded and realize that these drugs aren't forever, they're temporary. So if right now I need to go on the Cymbalta and the Adderall, which I'm still trying, I'll tell you about that later, then I should do it and just get better and become pain-free and happy again. And I think that's what I need to do, and then worry about all the weight gain and losing everything when I can, walk again. Although I will say that I will do whatever I can to never go on Neurontin again, and I would never ever recommend Lyrica to anyone because that is a mindfuck of a drug. I don't care maybe if it's your very last option, but I would never recommend Lyrica to any patient in any amount of pain. Just, there has to be some other way. It's a horrible drug. The whole Adderall thing that I was talking about earlier, I was prescribed it. He prescribed me the XR version. I took it to the pharmacy and my insurance denied it because I needed to try the generic regular release first before they would prescribe and pay for the XR. fine, whatever. They mailed me another script for Adderall, regular release, generic, okay. And I waited for that. I took it back to the pharmacy, and then they said, nope, sorry, we need a pre-authorization for that one too. So here I am. It's been 2.5 weeks maybe, and I still don't have Adderall because insurance is a pain in the ass. The positive to everything is I don't have a UTI right now, so I am still scheduled to get my urodynamics on Thursday, which is huge. I cannot wait to find out why I'm not voiding, emptying my entire bladder. I cannot wait to get this test. I don't even care if I have to start self-cathetering myself. I just would love to stop getting UTIs, because when you get a UTI, it just makes your symptoms worse, and I don't want to feel that. I want to feel good again. So when I have more information on that whole test, which it's an hour long, yada yada, I'll tell you more about it next video. When I have more information, you'll know, and I might even do it before I leave the parking lot, because I will be alone. Wow, it's fresh in my mind. It's probably your best bet. For this week's Comment Corner, Zennmomma's kicking it off. I did see her video. Yes, we are patients at the same clinic. We had the same doctor. I've actually talked to her before, and we were going to start doing videos together. But I don't know how that's going to work, because if I go on Tecfidera and she stays on Tysabri, which I know her titer level is lower than mine, I think it's around 2, and if it were me, I would probably stay on it because I just love Tysabri that much. But if we don't ever meet up at the clinic anymore, we live really far away, so I don't know if that's in my future. Maybe once I move down towards her neck of the woods, definitely. Sonia, I told him that now that people knew that this is what I wanted, a video from him, that he had to do it. So I think he's just working up the nerve, because even though he doesn't have the MS, he's still my caregiver, and it's an emotional thing. We talk about this and have disagreements about it frequently, so maybe he needs a little liquid courage before he does his video. Nyssa, Copaxone is pretty safe. I took it when I was just determined to breastfeed my oldest Michael, but that didn't work out, and it was seriously, the worst part was just it being annoying because I had to give myself injections. But I swear it was like giving myself injections of saline, because it didn't do a thing for me. It was awful. I took it back to the clinic and I said, I don't want this drug anymore. Give it to someone who actually thinks it's a good drug. It just wasn't for me. So I know you're starting Tecfidera. When do you start that? Because if that's the route I go, I might be about a month behind you. Felicia, your appointment was on the 25th. You have any news to share with us? How did it go? And wrapping things up this week, Josh is going to be evaluated for a stem cell trial clinical in May. I am really excited because I've never been able to participate in clinical trials. One, because they said they didn't want the risk of me going into it and failing, and 2, because I started taking Tysabri, and Tysabri pretty much voids you from everything. You can't do a damn thing but take your Tysabri. So I am very excited to hear about your journey with maybe stem cells. You know, maybe that's what's next for me. Who knows? See you guys next week. Bye.
So, it could be my first video. So, hi guys. You know, this vitamin thing, wanted to get vitamins for my mom. They're calcium vitamins to make her legs feel better. She needs to take them all day, so she won't have to go to the doctor. And of course, her legs don't work today, but if we buy them today, then my mom will take one tomorrow. And then her legs might feel better. So, yeah. So, bye guys. See you later. See, that can be my own first video. Well, of course, it doesn't have any coconut water in it. It doesn't have any coconut stuff in it. Does it? And that video was fun.